bills to ban UNRWA, as we've been reporting. Let's speak to UNRWA now. Sam Rose is the Senior Deputy Director for Gaza at UNRWA. Sam Rose, how do you respond to all the allegations there?
Well, it's difficult, to be perfectly honest, to know where to start with that. So I'll just give a few things from UNRWA's perspective. Look, there are multiple consequences of this unprecedented decision by the Knesset, unprecedented in the history of the United Nations. Let's be clear there. There are immediate humanitarian consequences for 2.2 million people in Gaza who have gone through the most horrendous experience and are continuing to endure absolute hell on a daily basis. UNRWA is the one agency able to meet the needs of that population. Of course, we work with others, but we are the absolute backbone in terms of what is happening here. We've delivered food to 1.9 million people. We're the largest provider of primary health care. We're providing shelter and protection to hundreds of thousands of people inside our school. We're the one UN agency that was able to vaccinate children as part of a deadly polio campaign, deadly polio outbreak, sorry. So there are the immediate humanitarian consequences. There are also political consequences in terms of the rights of Palestinians as enshrined under international law, and trying to change those rights through the deletion and the obliteration of a UN organization. And third, there are wider consequences for the normative political and legal frameworks in which we all, as the humanitarian community, operate and have operated since the Second World War. So there are dire consequences on all levels. Indeed, allegations have been made about a very small number of UNRWA staff members. As you said, we take these allegations extremely seriously, to the extent that the head of UNRWA, Philippe Lazzarini, immediately fired some staff members, a very small number, as I say, against whom allegations were made. We provide information, the details of all our staff members, to Israel on a 6 monthly basis, and have done for more than 15 years, and never have allegations been raised or concerns been raised about those staff members. As I say, when we have received allegations, separate to those lists, we have taken immediate action, and we need to divorce the potential actions, which, if proven, would be absolutely horrendous, horrific, and shameful. We need to separate those from an institution that provides services to 6 million Palestinians across the region, an institution that is perhaps the single most successful endeavor of the United Nations in the Middle East over the past 75 years, in terms of educating 4 generations of children, 3 million children, providing healthcare to millions upon millions of people. We need to separate those two accusations.
I have let you go through the range of allegations that we were hearing from Israel, from the sponsor of one of those bills in Parliament. I wonder what you think. I mean, this was a bill that was overwhelmingly supported by so many members of the Knesset. There were only 10 dissenting voices. How did it get to the stage that UNRWA was so toxic a proposition for them, that it was seen as this entity that's so riddled with corruption or terrorism that it needed to be banned?
I mean, I can't say. I've not been part of those deliberations. I don't have contacts with the members of the Knesset. But what I can say, that we've seen red line after red line crossed in this conflict in terms of what the population has gone through over the past 13 months as a
Can I just
direct
steer you back to what UNRWA is doing, what UNRWA has done, what the UN has done to face those allegations of terrorism, of links to Hamas, of members being participants in the October the 7th attacks? I mean, hasn't something gone terribly wrong here, that UNRWA hasn't been seen as doing enough to root out those people, those staff working for it?
We're not an intelligence operation. We have investigatory capability, but we have taken immediate and strong and direct action against any allegations that we have received. This is proven in terms of the actions that the UNRWA Commissioner General has taken and the actions that have been referred to other bodies within the United Nations. I refute any claim that we do not take these actions seriously and that we have not taken action. I mean, what we've seen in this conflict over the past 13 months is all sorts of red lines crossed in terms of the brutality that's being meted out on a civilian population here as a result of the horrific events of the 7th of October. And we call constantly and consistently for a ceasefire, the immediate and unconditional release of hostages. But I can tell you without any doubt that the plight of the civilian population inside Gaza will get immeasurably worse if and when these bills are implemented. There's absolutely no doubt about that. There are no other organizations that can pick up the bulk of what UNRWA does in terms of its operations here. No one has 13,000 staff, 75 years of knowledge, of understanding of the community here. It simply will not be possible.
So what is the route from here forwards? You have 3 months until this bill kicks in, this law kicks in, and yet you have members of the Knesset saying just a few minutes ago on BBC News that UNRWA schools are used for shooting rockets and missiles at Israel and that UNRWA has been taken over by Hamas. It doesn't look like there's any way forward.
No, I mean, the matter now is with the member states of the United Nations. UNRWA, as a United Nations organization, reports to the General Assembly. This matter is now in the hands of the member states, of the donors to UNRWA, but the broader international community of member states to the United Nations to act on what I said at the start is unprecedented, not just for UNRWA, but for the United Nations as a whole. We couldn't be more concerned, my staff here, the other organizations here. We continue to go about our daily business. Mark, let's not forget that. But there are these deeper concerns, and we have to call on the member states to take action.
But do you acknowledge also that UNRWA and the UN still have work to do in rooting out any lingering pockets of extremism to be seen to be taking more action?
We're taking all the action that we can. We've committed to taking this action. We've got more robust frameworks in place, as was confirmed by a former French foreign minister who led a review of UNRWA 6 months ago, more robust frameworks than any other United Nations organization working anywhere. Of course, there's more that can be done. There's always more that can be done when these allegations come to light. And we have shown time and time again that when they do, we take action. But as I said earlier, we're talking about individuals and an organization of 30,000 people that has made a unique and irreplaceable contribution to the well-being and lives of millions upon millions of Palestine refugees in this region, despite the failure of the member states and the parties to the conflict to find a solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Sam Rose, Senior Deputy Director for Gaza at UNRWA, joining us from Gaza. Thank you very much.